And another question I had to do with the idea of love as luxury, which I found really interesting, and it was for me knowing nothing when I came to this. It was very well explained, so I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to know because I know you have there are limitations of space, and you can only provide so many examples. And this was also before I knew that you had 80 plus interviews. But were there any other examples or represented cases that you thought really back this claim of love as luxury like very strongly, other than the ones presented in the chapter?
Oh, which chapter were you thinking? Were you
And
thinking of
six.
the last chapter that I gave
Yeah.
you?
Oh, so it's last. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, certainly that kind of, I'm building up to that chapter through
Okay.
Iban City, right? And also with the down chapter. Because in both cases, what I'm showing is with the neoliberal reforms, where there are widening class gaps within the gay community. And so before, I think in the 19, I mean, there's one book that I was using, 1993, where a working class man, he sleeps with, he sleeps with an upper class man, right? But after they have sex, what he says to the upper class men is, you know what? You have your 50 pyong. Pyong just means, I don't know, it's like a 3, 4 bedroom apartment that you live in by yourself. You have a foreign imported car, right? You drive an imported car, right? But ultimately, you know what? You and I, we're the same. You are a homo and I'm a homo. That's what he says, right?
Okay.
So the kind of the stigma attached to the gay, the signifier being homo, kind of erases any class privilege that anyone could have. And that kind of is backed up by, my informants who say it doesn't matter if you're an NBC producer or you graduated from SNU, right? Like, or whether you're a member of parliament, right? If you are outed, you will lose all that instantly, right? So the kind of, I mean, the idea of class being collapsed, right, within the gay community because it's such a powerful signifier of perversity, right? But then what you see in the current moment is over the 15 years, you have seen the internal development of a hidden gay culture. And along with that development, you have the internal, class differentiation, right? So no longer is our different classes collapsed under the signifier of gay anymore. And so what you see in the in the Ivan City chapter is, poor, gay men, upper class men looking for other upper class men, right? And so that's where, I mean, the idea of love, it's like the only people who can really afford love, right, are the ones who have very good jobs, right? Who have the leisure time, right? And I mean, they're the only ones who can get partners in a way, right? And that also is kind of not explicitly explained, but kind of implicit in the down chapter as well. Because what you're seeing in down is already the result of the internal class differentiation that is occurring within Iban City, right? So in Iban City, gay men are using the internet to kind of differentiate between different bodies and classes. And so in Down, what you're seeing are the results of that, right? These are all like very middle class, right, or upper middle class guys, right, with fairly good jobs who are English speakers, who are very cosmopolitan, right, who can kind of embody that signifier of gay, right, that means westernized and cosmopolitan, identity, right? They can actually create a gay lifestyle around that identity, around that signifier, right? And then you see in the luxury of love chapter that love really is becoming the luxury of the few, right?